you can see the crucial Pool B match between Scotland and Fiji with us tomorrow. It's live on ITV2 from 20 to 5, and it's a 5 o'clock kickoff. And if you're in Scotland, it's on ITV1. It's well worth setting your alarm clocks for, or stay up all night. Right, it's time for France against the USA at the Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. Here are Jamie Salmon and Mark Robson.
Yeah, it should be the Wynn Stadium. It's blowing a gale here tonight, 55 kilometres an hour. The wind was gusting to earlier on. It seems to have settled down just ever so slightly, blowing hard across the pitch, an onshore breeze, the Pacific away in the distance. The news is that the French players are getting very frustrated, by the way. Based on Bondi Beach, it's look but don't touch. In fact, they are jealous of their now ex-mascot, the cockerel Diomede, sent back to his farm suffering from depression. Apparently Diomede is now having a great time with the chicks in his pen, while the French have to wait until the semis until they can meet up with wives and girlfriends. Patrick Tobacco said Diomede's having more luck than us. But as we all know, Jamie Salmon, women weaken legs, and this French team seems to have strength right through the 30.
They certainly do, and although this is their second string, I think this is a very important game for France, because the coaching staff will want to see who can step up when it comes down to the big games, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, etc., and whether they get to the final or not. There's bound to be injuries. That's just the nature of the game, and they'll need a couple of these guys to be on top form to come seamlessly into the team at those stages.
Well, there's great support here tonight for both sides. The Americans, a lot of Texas flags in the crowd, and it's a bit like Texas, which of course, as you know, was a very windy state indeed, and that wind blowing right hard across the pitch, so I imagine a lot of balls will be kicked down into the far corner. Well, this French side, Bernard Laporte has changed the entire team. It's very much his second 15, but it still looks packed with pace and explosion. David Bory, just off the flight from Paris as replacement for the injured Xavier Garbajosa, starts the match, and the team is captained by hooker Yannick Brou. France have not yet failed to pass 50 in a pool match. 7 members of this pack have played in all 4 Rugby World Cup matches. Gerard Clark replaced Alec Parker against Japan, but Tom Billups has gone for his best side in all matches. It's the same on the backs, where 5 players start for the 4th time, and the 35-year-old veteran Dave Hodges has been captain for every game. French ranks.
Whose
Star-Spangled Banner under the floodlights here in Wollongong, and it's a real party atmosphere. The Five Islands Brewery Company is gearing up for big demand here. They've brewed a special Halloween ale for these games, and the Viva La Gong Festival is ongoing, a menagerie of music, fashion, film, food and wine and circus performances. Big street party post-match tonight. Of course, we're on the part of the Illawarra coast of the southern Pacific, and it's also the 50th anniversary of the Illawarra Rugby Union. And you look at the bench, well, a lot of those players, or some of them certainly, will be starting the next game that France play. Ibanez, Marganet, Theo Magne, Michalak, in fact the whole lot, all 7 you would think would be in the starting lineup. So a lot of strength to come from the French bench. Olivier Bruzet is France's most capped second row forward, so he's the most experienced player in the French lineup tonight. So Gerald Merceron will kick off for France. Americans won the toss. That's Mike Hercus, who has scored 42 points at the Rugby World Cup, a USA record, 19 points against Japan, including a try when he breached the defence a couple of times with a couple of nice dummies and stepped. The referee for this one is a professional referee from New Zealand, Paul Honus. 6th year as a pro, in fact.
Right, time on, guys.
So Gerald Merceron gets proceedings underway.
And straight away the effect of the wind. USA misjudging that kick. Should have been collected and cleared, but early chance for France to get into the game and get all their players involved in it, which I suspect they'll want to do early on.
Yannick Brou looks to Aradou at the front. Wasn't a good ball. Yachvili under pressure. That was Hodges coming in hard. And now Schubert is in a fine World Cup for the USA. Picked up by Sika, whose hands were a little bit suspect in the victory against Japan, but he looked good there. This is Hercus. Difficult night for kickers. Mike Hercus under pressure, slicing it completely. And in front of the kicker, Schubert. So the penalty goes to the French, offside. And Les Bleus with a penalty.
Well, it was certainly a very odd kick from Hercus. Sliced off his boot. There we go. Straight against the wind. Came back a bit. The man in front, hence the penalty.
Merceron. The breeze blowing against him. Man who lost his confidence a couple of seasons back, was very much first choice for this French side. Now Michalak is the preferred number 10. So Yannick Brou, he's failed to find his man. First time out, this time he gets it, but not straight. Bruzet picked the ball up, but it is very, very treacherous out there for the hookers to get that ball in straight. It's a strong, gusting breeze. Right on the beach here at Wollongong. It's a beautiful setting for a rugby ground, but not a pleasant place if you're trying to hit your man on the line out. Good scrummage by the French. Big push by the front row. And Yachvili to Gerald Merceron. And now in the centre it's Liebenberg, the South African-born number 13. Yachvili, that's Labit, Aradou. Good drive by him. Yachvili, the former Gloucester out half, and that wasn't a good ball. Goes over the head of Merceron. It's picked up by Sébastien Chabal. And now Damien Traille. Yachvili to Merceron. Aradou heavily involved early on, but offside the Americans, and a penalty to the French in a kickable position.
Offside, midfield.
Very much so. Offside in the midfield. The French line-up may not be working too well, but the first scrum American put in, they didn't have to drive them backwards. Got one against the head, so that doesn't augur well for the Americans. They're going to have to get that organised pretty quickly. Only played 5 days ago, the whole of this American team, and I suspect a lot of these guys haven't played for a couple of weeks, the French guys, so they're fresh, eager, ready to go, because they suspect they're not going to get, or probably might not even start another game for a couple of weeks. So they should be full of beans, the French team.
Yeah, one of the French press was saying to me in the media centre before the game, was I here as an Irishman to spy? I said, we're not playing France in the quarterfinals, we're playing Fiji. Or Scotland. Merceron, fine kick from him, the 5th highest scorer in French history. 257 points he has now. Christophe Lamaison, by the way, is top man with 380. That's the great Dan Lyle, real legend in the American game, the only American rugby player who's appeared on the front page of Sports Illustrated. Oh, that's knocked forward by Schubert. Pity, if he had good hands there. He had a supporting player alongside him, and 35-year-old Dave Hodges.
Yes, excellent opportunity, Dan Lyle. France won't attack this ground, they'll just want a solid base to clear the lines. There's no point trying to push the Americans off it.
I want it up on his back, please, White. Not on his arm. Up on the back, please, okay? Crouch and hold.
Paul Honus, who refereed the Ireland-England game at Lansdowne Road in 2001, that all Irishmen will remember. And he says it was his favourite rugby moment. I can understand why. Clearance. Good one it is too. Remember, the breeze is helping the kick in that direction on that side of the pitch. And it's Clément Poitrenaud who gains, I don't know, 50, 60 metres.
He certainly does. There won't be too many kicks going t'other way, I assure you. Because you can just put it up to the 15-metre mark, and the wind will do the rest, as they say. So he'll enjoy kicking to that side. Whether he's got left foot or not, we'll soon see. First American line-out.
Kurt Kosigian, one of the try scorers against Japan. Schubert moves up the line-out, takes a good ball, and that's Mike Hercus. No daft kicks this time, and it's big Salesi Sika. May not have great hands, but he's big and powerful, a strong runner, and he will punch holes for you in defences. It's good play by the Americans. Hercus once more. Whistle's gone, no.
Coming back, holding on the tackle, Blue. No advantage.
Penalty against France, holding on in the tackle. Bad kick by Hercus. He hasn't found his kicking boots or got them on. I hope he's got them on today for the American sake. But they played this tactic of seeker up the middle, as we see here. What they want is quick ball. I know that the French have got penalised, but they've somehow got to clear them out. They want quick ball from seekers' insertions into that French midfield and then get it away.
Well, he's a former missionary. I think it's the French midfield who should be saying their prayers every time he gets the ball. Tongan, my bird.
You know when we were here on Wednesday night?
Yeah.
We talked about windbags.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the only ground in the world, by the way, that we know of that has a windsock. And that's what he's referring to. Kosigian, Dan Lyle, they've worked the line out well, but not straight again. But they've got nice variations in there.
Paul Honus might have to show a bit of patience with this wind. It is going to be very difficult for the hookers. Now they might, one might argue, don't throw long when you've got a great big gale going on the field. So that you may see the line-outs being shortened and going to 2 and 4 in the line-out as the game progresses to alleviate that sort of scenario.
Jabili back to Poitrenaud again. He's the man in the pocket when it's inside the 22. He's got a huge boot on him, and that's an error by John Buchholz. The flag was up on the far side. I think it was in touch. John Buchholz, who replaced Paul Emmerich in the side, because Emmerich was poor. In touch, was poor defensively against Japan, although pretty sensational at times in attack. Yannick Brou, this is better. That's Olivier Brouzet. Good strong leap in the line out from him. Former Northampton second row forward. Referee wants the USA to keep that maul up as the French drive forward. Do not collapse the maul is what they are saying. Here's Liebenberg, Poitrenaud wide, and a first chance for El Horga. Yachvili at standoff. Yannick Brou inside the 22 for the French. Quick ball for Yachvili. Maybe went the wrong way. The referee is playing the advantage for offside, and it's another kickable position for Gerald Merceron.
Well, nice to see the French getting the ball through the hands, getting it wide, challenging the American defence. They're going to be ever alert, and I'm not sure they're going to live with the pace of the French backline. Yannick Brou makes his decision to kick for goal once again.
Quick enough. Your props, your pillars close to the ruck have to give me at least another half metre. At least. Dave
Hodges just been told by the referee what he wants at the contact area, the rucks and mauls. Good communication, can't complain therefore if he penalises them further down the game.
th cap tonight for Merceron. Pretty much straight in front of the post, this one. And he's got it. 6-0 to the French. It's the 7th meeting between the sides. France have won 4, the USA have won 2. On both occasions it was in the Olympic final. 1920 in Antwerp, 1924 in Paris. 2 Olympic goals in Rugby Union, USA.
Current Olympic champions, is that what you were saying?
Yes. Urkus.
More time wide from the back.
Taken by Patrick Tobacco.
Keep it up, White. Away, 6 away. Still the original ball.
It's another good ball by the French. It's got inside their own half though.
Don't do anything stupid.
Gaining big ground. Again, the Americans get the advantage, and Yachvili looking on the blind side for Chabal. Now Dimitri Yachvili, the former Gloucester scrum half, 15 metres short, and the ball stayed in play.
Is that a white player kicking the ball,
But
Andrew, or a blue player?
The ball was kicked by a Frenchman, and the penalty goes to the USA.
That's Chabal going through the ball inside Yachvili, who makes a good run going down the touchline, can't quite get his pass away, and I think he's penalised for kicking the ball away. That's what the referee seemed to imply. Just get a foot in there. Bit bemused by that one. He was in touch anyway, so it should have been... Anyway, we'll see. Here they come on the counter-attack.
The beautiful silky running of Clement Poitrenaud, but they've given the ball away and then are knocked forward.
Knocked forward by White, trying to pick it up. It's coming down blue ball.
Schubert's made a couple of unfortunate handling errors.
Don't clip smalls, okay? Last ball, thank you. Come forward, blue. Catch and hold. Engage. Line, under off his feet.
Don't see that called very often by referees. He is known in this part of the world to be a fairly whistle-happy individual, Paul Honus.
Well, give him a warning first, rather than, you know, call it straight away. Give him a warning and say, next time I'm going to ping you for it, but don't do it straight away and break up the game. Here we go, another whistle, not 10.
Where you go? Yeah, that's it. Pass.
Kevin Dalzell.
Heads on two. Hold blue. Roll out two. Heads off blue.
Down Lyle way, it's picked up by Dan Dorsey, a rumbling prop forward. All beef and bulk. Now Dalzell gets it to Mike Hercus and Sika once more, but this time he didn't really hit the ball at pace. Hercus, he hasn't kicked very well so far. That's El Horga, and it's another whistle for being in front of the kicker. And this referee, Paul Honus, clearly has peripheral vision.
Well, I just think in the case certainly of crooked feet in the scrum, of saying to the scrum half, listen, I'm watching you, make sure you get it right, the last one wasn't good enough, next time you're going to go. Fine, no problem at all, but to do it without any warning at all, I just think is being a little bit too fussy. Here's the kick, man in front. It was Ryan Van Zyl on the left wing for the States who got in front of the kicker, Mike Hercus. So we come back to the original scenario, about 10 yards difference in the area of the pitch with a French scrum. So hopefully Yachvili will put it in straight. There's no reason not to, because I can't see the Americans pushing them off too far.
Well, the French front rows look good so far, and that was Labitte. And now here's Clement Poitrenaud, and he's made great ground each time he's inserted himself into the line. That's into the 22. It's a sensational run by Clement Poitrenaud. Now they've got big numbers. Gerald Merceron, if it goes wide, it's a try, and it's a score to France by Brian Liebenberg, the South African-born centre, and it was all created by Clement Poitrenaud, the man who is bursting to get into this first team and replace Nicolas Bruce. And my goodness, is he making an impact so far on Bernard Laporte and this USA defence?
He most certainly is. It started with a show and go, and this is important because look how quick the ball is coming out of there. And then once it came out, there was plenty of numbers. Merceron through the hands, and that makes it very easy for the outside centre, Liebenberg, and he's a happy bunny. But Poitrenaud was the man who initiated the whole lot, and if you're sitting on the coaching staff of France, that's just the sort of display you want. You want competition for places, and certainly that's what these players look up for tonight.
2 from 2 for Merceron, much more difficult kick this time. Wind playing havoc. We had it at his back there, but it's France 11, the USA 0.
This was just basic hands. This is training ground routine stuff, to be frank with you. It's what they did in the warm-up. You don't mess chances like that up if you're a top quality side harbouring ambitions to go all the way in a tournament.
And once the USA defence had been breached, the defence was all over the place. Whereas Mike McDonald had a very good game against Japan, looked extremely useful in the loose. Oh, beautifully tackled by Dan Lyle, the former gridiron player. That's Dalzell to Hercus. That's Schubert. He's a fine runner, you know, when he comes into the line. Pick up and go by Mike McDonald. Now Dalzell looking to fight back straight away. The USA through Mike Hercus. Play on, says the referee, advantage to France. It was Bruce picked the ball up. Yachvili waits under pressure from Schubert, and he gets a good bounce, and the ball beats David Fee.
Well, encouraging play there for the American team. That time initiated by Dan Lyle with a wonderful take from the restart. It was terrific. That's Hercus being tackled, and that's where I think the ball ends up on the French side. They just kicked forward. I think a toe got in the way there, and France able to relieve the pressure as Yachvili got a good bounce into touch.
Back to Dan Lyle once more. Kevin Dalzell to Hercus. Sika. He's not a hard man to sort out, Sika. He just gets the ball and runs straight at you, doesn't he? That's his game. And it's advantage blue, and it's Liebenberg to El Horga, Palpito El Horga, who bounces off 3 tackles, looks for support, and it was knocked forward, I think, in the tackle or forward pass it was in the end. But there was certainly an infringement, and the USA get the put into the scrummage. But Poitrenaud and now El Horga looking as if they can shred this USA defence.
Yes, it certainly looks pretty ominous. Get good ball, good quick ball, and there's pace to burn. I think that's Dan Lyle down, who went in with that ball and got a very heavy tackle, and hence why the ball came loose, and France got that turnover to have that counter-attack. Here it is now, and this is, I think, when the ball comes loose, he gets a heavy knock on the head, and God forbid we see another scenario like Al Chiron and a player being concussed or unconscious, because we witnessed that sadly on Wednesday night, but now happily back on 2 feet as Al Chiron. But Dan Lyle, we wouldn't want his World Cup to end like this, would we?
No, we would not. And Tom Billups has played the same back row in every match, and it's a good back row the USA have blended together at this Rugby World Cup of Schubert, Hodges and Lyle. Dan Lyle, of course, very familiar to British viewers, who spent 6 seasons at the Rec with Bath and is now with Leicester. Well, as Dan Lyle receives some treatment, and there's a blood injury as well. Just to remind you that it is Super Saturday on ITV tomorrow. First off, set your alarm clocks as the Scottish Bravehearts face the Fijian Flyers at the Aussie Stadium. That's live on ITV2 from 4:40 AM. Good luck. And ITV1 in Scotland too. The action continues at 7:30 AM on ITV2 with the Springboks and Samoa from Brisbane Suncorp Stadium, Cauldron and Poulet. Truth or Dare is next from 9:25 AM on ITV1. Ireland's finest clash with Eddie Jones rampaging Wallabies at the Telstra Dome in Melbourne. 3 big matches exclusively live tomorrow on ITV's Super Saturday and the website itv.com/RWC. Kevin Dalzell is the man who has been replaced at scrum half for the blood injury by Mose Timoteo, and Dan Lyle seems to have recovered.
The referee just said to Dan Lyle, let me know if you're no good. I'm not sure I can see Dan Lyle saying that somehow. Up to the medical team on the bench to keep a very close watch on Dan Lyle now. Once you get a knock to the head, that's what they do, which is quite right.
Well, that French scrummage again, driving forward, picked up by Labitte, taking advantage of that crumpling USA hit. French advantage as well. Yachvili down the blind side and straight into touch. No advantage to France.
Well, that's 2 put-ins America have had. Twice they've gone back at a rate of knots, and ominous size, because also it means the tight 5 are going to get pretty tired by this and won't be as effective in the loose. The McDonald's of this world that we were referring to earlier.
Tobacco knock on by Damien Try, and it's a USA scrummage. That was a little bit scruffy.
I think it's France, well, they will worry about it because they want continuity in their play, but coming back from an American put into the scrum, they won't be too perturbed judging on the first 2 scrums of the game with their ball. Can get frustrating. It doesn't quite go to hand. You want to make an impression, you're eager, you just got to have a bit of patience.
Miu, Bru and Poux is the French front row here. USA put it, of course. Oh, look at that again. They've won the ball against the hell. They turned it round. It's Yachvili. Here's Merceron. Trouble all over the place here for the USA. And there must be a try wide for Liebenberg. It's his second of the game. And the French lead is stretched to 16 points to 0. And it came really from pure brute strength from that French front row initially, who look as if they could drill their way into a bank vault without any equipment.
Once that happened, again, it's just the hands. Chabal takes it in, takes a couple out, and Liebenberg, well, if that isn't the exact spot he scored the first try, it's not far from it. But look, he takes 2 out there, and poor old David Fee is faced with about a 3-on-1. Got no chance of stopping that. But I think the scrummage situation is ominous to say the least, and I think they've just got to go channel 1 and just get it away from that area, because at the moment they're just handing the ball back to the French.
And that kick exactly from the place he missed from a few moments ago, and Gerald Merceron has learnt from that. That's 3 from 4. France 18, USA 0. Remember, the French in every one of their pool games have passed the 50-point mark, including, rather embarrassingly for those north of the border, against Scotland. 18 tries they scored before this game. That's around 20 now in the Rugby World Cup 2003.
Well, he's had a good start. Good first 20 minutes for the outside centre. Touched it a few times, made a few tackles. Always nice to get into it early. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, very poor hands by Sebastien Chabal. Referees penalised them for offside anyway. Yes, Liebenberg was a controversial selection in for Thomas Castagnier. Bernard Laporte got a bit of criticism for that, as you can imagine. But at the moment looks like a good decision. Liebenberg, to be fair, has simply had to run the ball in for those 2 tries. It's all been created elsewhere. Big Alec Parker, number 4. Number 5 is Luke Gross, who played for Harlequins. It goes towards Parker, and it's intercepted by David Aradou. They won the ball back. Kevin Dalzell is back on the pitch. Schubert. Dalzell. Mike Hercus. Big tackle on Mike McDonald by Chabal. Dan Lyle picks up. Dan Dorsey attempted to clear the ball out. Now driven on by Luke Gross with Rotherham these days. Dalzell, Mike Hercus. This time they miss out Sika, And they bring in Philip Eloff, and now it's Mike Hurkis again, just 6 or 7 metres short. It's a good tackle by Labite, but it's American ball. They're getting very close here. Kevin Dalzell looking for the options left and right. He's going to go right. There was a hand coming in there, and now it's the fullback Buchholz. He slips the ball on to Eloff.
No advantage.
But no advantage to the USA, and the referee's going to bring them right back. They had a very good opportunity to score a try there, did the Americans. They do look good in phases.
Wait, guys, I want to have a check. Let's go quickly. Yeah.
Wait, guys, I want to have a chat to them unless you want to take it quickly.
Right,
Is what Paul Otis just said to Kevin Dalzell.
Okay?
He's elected to have the word and say he doesn't really of that, but one of the quotes of the tournament.
Paul O'Honas, I think we should call him. There's something worked out here. Sika trying to get an extra forward there. Mike Hurkis, Eloff gets it wide. So close here for the States, and just driven into touch there was David B. Well, he was a couple of feet away from getting an American try, and they've scored in every match.
Yes, indeed. Just the numbers outdid him, didn't he? There was 3 of them there. Certainly Merceron came in with the shoulder, but he just couldn't quite squeeze in the corner. Merceron with the elbow bandage, but Patronneau was the one who scragged him into touch.
Yes, Clement Patronneau making the crucial hit. So Selesi Sika plays for Brigham University. In his debut last time out against Japan, just a second cap, but he's very direct.
He certainly is direct. I'm not sure, I know too many centres would want him coming at him all day, every day. The one thing you do know, at least you know where he's going to go. You can't see too many side steps appearing on the horizon on that one.
Ball taken by Patrick Tobacco.
Blue, line up off the white line, and white not so far away. It's only a metre gap. Come down. Come down. Line out again. Blue throw. White.
Bit of a nag, the referee, but fussy. Glad he's not my wife. You know what I mean.
That's an answer to that, and I'm not saying it.
Yachvili clears. And again, the French get a favourable bounce. Dimitri Yachvili, the former Gloucester scrum half. His brother plays for Georgia.
Wasn't tidy though, was it? You know, when you think ahead to quarter-final in a week's time, and you've got to be absolutely rock solid in situations like that, and organised and disciplined.
Kirk Kosigian, his 7th Rugby World Cup match, very experienced, played all 3 at the '99 Rugby World Cup. Schubert takes it. Kosigian. That's Dan Dorsey. Good drive, a little bit isolated, but there very quickly is Alec Parker. Now Mike Hurkis, and coming into midfield is Schubert. Well-timed run, breaching that French defence. Now Sika once more in on the burst, and was well-timed again by John Buchholz. They're hitting the line hard, the United States of America, but the French have turned the ball over, and they've got the advantage. And now the penalty. Taken quickly, El Horga. El Horga's looked lively when he's had the ball.
Not 10. Play the ball on the ground.
Play the advantage.
Let's go 10, please.
You know, they had the ball was coming back the French side. It could have played advantage, I felt. A bit longer then. But the Americans have changed some nice paces of play. They're getting quick ball back. They're getting across the gain line. Dan Lahr looks to be okay, fortunately. He's a great one for marshalling the troops. Nothing against Dave Hodges, the captain, but obviously Lahr's an experienced pro. Yachvili, the man there, clearing again.
But they were talking in the studio about the Welsh selection, and you can see the Americans, the advantage of playing pretty much the same team for all 4 World Cup matches. They know each other, they know what each other's doing, and there's a unity about the side, apparently.
And Tommy Phillips said from day one, we're playing our top team every game and going to front up. Everybody knew where they stood from minute 1 on this tour.
Yachvili.
Let him play it!
And again, Gerald Merceron. Damien Try. Yachvili. Switch this time to Sebastien Chabal, and he's lost the ball forward. Pick up by Sika. Gets it to Sherbert. Now Dan Lyle. Back row working well together. Bounces off Liebenberg. Strong man is Dan Lyle. Now Van Zyl.
Chabal in the back row for France does not look to have the best hands to me. He was the one that made a hash of the restart after the last try. That's Dan Lyle bouncing off and getting into contact again, so he hopefully is back to full readiness for this battle ahead. That goes on the full.
The Kentucky-born Dan Lyle, 33 years of age now. Yannick Brou looking for tobacco when Brou gets the ball back with a foot in touch. Yannick Brou, quite famous in France for headbutting an opposing player in the car park after the match, and was very lucky not to get a long suspension. And now he's the captain of France.
Go back, come across.
Kasigian. Luke Gross.
You've got two receivers. I can't have two receivers at line outside. You've got him here and you stepping out as well. No, we're going to have it again. We're going to have it again.
We don't have two receivers, but we can have it again.
You can't step out. We'll look on the video after the game. Okay.
Ball 26, pulls forward.
Very frustrating. Much better, he says. Thank you. Just a patronising little comment from the referee. Children. Dalzell to Hercus. David Bory is underneath it. Didn't really commit himself to the ball. Clement Poitrenaud now has it. Ball was knocked forward. But they're trying to attract rugby union to areas like this. It's not a big rugby union area, you know, it's really rugby league. And when a match is actually refereed like this, it's unattractive to watch, and it doesn't encourage people to come and watch rugby union. And you know, the crowd's very subdued now. It's very stop-start.
And that sadly is Dan Lyle again. I fear I can't quite see that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that. Yes, it is Dan Lyle, unfortunately. So decision time for the medical team. And my view on these things, when it's head related, is if in doubt, get him off the field. But no, you're absolutely right. It's all about encouragement. There's 18-0 after 20 minutes, and the referee should be saying to himself, there's Dan Lyle. Oh, crumbs, he was struggling from the first one, and then he got hit again. Oh dear. But yes, he should say to himself, I can play advantage as long as I like here, because obviously, you know, France are very much in the ascendancy, and that's the best way to run this game for all concerned and the crowd. And I would beg to suggest to the medical team that Dan Lyle needs a breather.
Yeah, I think he does. Second bang in the head. But yeah, referees have to referee, well, a lot of people think, with sensitivity for the situation and allow a match to breathe.
The only thing I would say is that this is obviously the end of the group stages this weekend, and the referees appointed for the next phase of the competition is going to be on Tuesday. So this is Holness's last opportunity to impress, in inverted commas. So as we see the unfortunate injury to Dan Lyle again, who was trying to get out from an earlier involvement in a piece of play, and then it was number 13, Philippe Eloff, who came in, and he's gone down again. He's gone down in that manner that he just doesn't, you don't think he knows what's going on. You know what I mean?
Well, I do, and we saw a very nasty injury. There's Tom Billups, the American coach, very professional he is too. He's making a few notes and wondering who he's going to bring on from the bench, and the obvious man is Jury House, the Durban-born flanker. There he is, in fact. And Dan Lyle leaves the field. He's walking off, well, I was going to say reasonably comfortably, but he does look dazed, and they do not want to lose Dan Lyle. He is their best player, the most experienced player, and a real Trojan in that back row. So Jury House has moved to the flank, and they're going to have to switch that back row round a little bit too, which is going to cause them extra problems. Lechvili, Merceron, the American backline did look to be offside. Referee says no, play goes on, and down on the ball goes House. Pick up by Parker. Dalzell. Eloff. And moving across from the right wing is David Fee. Buchholz. Mike Hercus does have a very good step, you know. He scythed his way through the Japanese defence a couple of times, but of course this isn't the Japanese defence, it's a French defence, and it's much tougher to break down. But the Americans are making a pretty good job of it. That's Parker setting the ball beautifully. Sika. Well, they've got him well covered. They've got two men on him. They're hitting him in a pincer movement now every time he gets the ball. Here's the gargantuan figure of Luke Gross. And now Dorsey. Dorsey, House. A little bit isolated there. And as a result, the French win the ball. You can't really go to ground on your own in those situations against a side as good as the French.
No, if you're going around the fringes as a ball carrier, you certainly need some support right with you, because certainly the French are a very physical side. And there's House, and 1, 2, they just get there. But already the French on their feet, perfectly permissible. I think that was my friend Chabal going in there.
Bit of talk in the papers this morning about the tackle law, about players releasing the ball or not releasing, or players not allowing them to release. That referees, according to some of the coaches, are being inconsistent in their handling of that law. But of course the tackle area and the release of the ball has always been a contentious one.
I think it's the one that frustrates the coaching staff more than any other law, and the inconsistencies of it and the way it's interpreted by referees, whether they come from the northern or southern hemisphere, because you spend so much time now, there's so much build-up in play and phases they go through in the contact areas, and they just want consistency in the manner in which it's interpreted by all referees. And bear in mind the touch judges, you know, the referee can hear the touch judges now as well, putting their oar in as well.
Well, that's a dreadful kick, really horrendous. Now House has to release the ball, and again the French have done some good work again. The Americans not there quite quickly enough. Damien Try, and it's the backs you'll notice there who are clearing the ball out. The French very good at that, and that releases the big runners in midfield like David Aradou. Now Yachvili, who's looked sharp. Clement Poitrenaud for the corner. He's one man to beat. He's got support from Yachvili. And the referee wants to go upstairs to the TVO, and the television official is Andy Turner from South Africa.
Andy, I'm happy with the grounding of the ball. It's a question of whether he
might have squeezed it.
He grounded the ball.
He might have squeezed it. Once again, it's Poitrenaud that certainly got outside a few last lines of defence.
Thank you.
Having said I thought he got in, the French forwards are staying where they are in this part of the field. I thought, oh, he's in touch. Yeah, well, that won't take long. The man upstairs doesn't need to see this angle. He can just get on with it, and that angle's going to tell him absolutely nothing. The first angle is the best one. Very simple. There you are. Well done. Right, got back to it. There's the foot. There we are. Decision made.
Clears a bell, that one. There was one TVO that took 2.5 minutes in one game.
Time on. Yep. Thanks very much. Time on. Touch. In touch. Line out wide.
Very straightforward in the game. But again, the warning signals for the USA defence. Clement Poitrenaud, every time he gets the ball, is causing them major difficulties. Kasigian to the front, and it's one Aradou and Bruze together. Now the front row join the party. Miu and Brou. Yachvili, Merceron, Chabal, here's Merceron, little dummy from Merceron. Damien tries, well hit by Philibelov, good tackle by the sender. Chabal now, 10 metres short for France. Picked up by Labitte. Now they are in a tremendously strong position here, the French, as Yannick Brou goes to ground. Get it wide here, they might just have numbers. Clement Poitrenaud inside for Aradou. Some good tackling from the US Eagles. Their defence has certainly been purposeful and committed. Advantage to France, and Merceron gets the ball knocked out of his grasp as he goes to pick it up. Pulling the player in is the decision.
Knowing Mr. Honus, he might have just talked about yellow cards at that stage for that 5 yards from the line after that passage of play. He's saying it now. As Merson kicks into touch to have this great position for France, and you think it's a question of when rather than if here.
Goes to Bruce, and it's Miu, the loose head prop forward, who barrels his way towards the line. A metre short. It's not over though. Well, the beat didn't see the ball coming out there, and it's well won back by House. Great turnover ball. Timoteo gets it away to Hercus, and sensational stuff under extreme pressure from the USA.
Yes, they didn't help themselves, the French. They'd got the ball set, and it suddenly went to ground. House spotted it, and quite within his rights went down on it, and alleviated some of the pressure, certainly.
Touch of the Ray Charles from Christian Labitte. Hué le ballon. So Yannick Brou. Changing at this time, it was Chabal who took the ball, and Damien Try crashing into midfield. Yachvili, David Aradou. Yachvili switching play, Gerard Merceron, the little chip forward. It's taken by Patrick Tabaco. Liebenberg's on a hat-trick. Merceron, big numbers wide for the French, and Yachvili looks towards Clement Quadrenaud and El Horga, and if Ryan Van Zeelen got the bounce there, he was almost away, although David Bory, credit to him, had covered right across from the left wing, knowing that Quadrenaud was up in an attacking position.
Well, it was a low one, and it was going pretty quickly because the wind got it, and the bounce did him like a kipper there. And he was in for all money, wasn't he? But difficult one to judge. He certainly, El Horgan, needed to check himself, but even then I fear would have gone over his head. But it's interesting to see France doing a variation.
Rugby balls do have those nasty pointy bits, don't they?
Well, they do if you don't do it on the fill, a la Wilkinson against Samoa, if you recall, when Balshaw went scooting in. To give a comparison.
Thank you. Expert. Another great driving ball by the French. I think number 3 is the ball in hand, and this time it is a try, and it's scored by number 3, Jean-Baptiste Poux of Toulouse. A third try for Les Bleus. It's 23 points to 0. You felt it was about to arrive. So intense has the pressure been on that American line in the last 10 minutes.
Well, they got it right this time. On the other side of the field, they made a pretty big mess out of it. But this time, they kept patient, kept their shape, kept their control. Somebody's doing a bit of chatting there to make sure they know where they're going and who's got the ball, etc. And very difficult to defend when you've got such physical supremacy as the French forwards have this evening.
Another late call-up to this French side for Peter de Villiers, the exceptional South African-born prop who was injured when he fell off his mountain bike. It's a more difficult kick, and you can see because the wind is playing havoc on that far side of the pitch. It's easier from this side because the wind is pretty much at his back. But this was impressive stuff.
Yes, it's towards the back. And Poux has got his hands on ball now, and it's just a question of the momentum. Yachvili even lending his bulk and frame.
Haven't been too good at the restarts, the French, so far.
Roll out wide.
Merceron playing scrum half more often than Yachvili. They seem to switch. Ad-libbing it a little bit. Now Buchholz. No, and he's in trouble here. He's knocked it forward, thrown it forward.
No advantage, lost forward there.
Getting isolated, taking on the French defence on his own. It's a very dangerous ploy, that.
You know, I suspect Dave Hodges, the captain, with 14 men in front of him, his own men in front of him, might have thought 5 minutes to go to half-time, let's just play it a bit down their half, because one thing we don't need is a French put-in with oceans of space to work with.
Stay on, stay on!
A good drive in the scrummage from the French, controlling it masterfully.
Get back on! Advantage on down.
Good footballing skills by Labitte as well.
Binding.
And a penalty against the USA for not binding. The man he has penalised is the loose head prop, Mike McDonald. I suspect after a while, going backwards the rate of knots, your bindings are bound to come a bit loose. I thought the French might have tapped and gone then, got some pace back into it. They're happy playing the touch lines, happy with their line-out drills now, after the first couple went awry, or the captain, Yannick Brou, couldn't do it straight, or whatever else. Patrick Tobacco, but it's hard to do at the front of the line-out. Now Christian Labitte. Plenty of purpose about these French mauls. Yachvili, Merceron needs a long pass into midfield to Damien Traoré. Quadrano coming into the line. Merceron waits, Yachvili again at pivot. Yannick Brou knocks the ball on and picked up by Luke Gross, just outside the American 22. Tackled by Bruze. Timoteo to Mike Hercus. Oh, intercepted by Belpino Alhorga. But the referee's going to call the ball the way back. No advantage. Scrum down to America. They've managed to get away with it.
He's come back to that Yannick Brou knock-on. That's what he's come back to, because Luke Gross then took it on. So he's played. We were talking about negative advantage earlier on, I seem to recall. That's the knock-on in question, and you'll see Luke Gross, number 5, to the left of the screen, all just disappeared. And this was, thank you very much. This is easy, please. Sorry, back you come. Oh, they're under enough pressure as it is, without giving something on their own ball. The beat's off.
Labitte, they're not 10 metres, the Americans. They can't tackle until he gets that distance, and Labitte sets the ball. That's Brou. And I think they've turned the ball over, have they? No, well, that's how they turned it over. Dave Hodges was the man, the captain. 35 years of age now. 7th World Cup match for this ex-linebacker.
Don't go for goal, Yannick Brou. He is going for goal, Yannick Brou. You didn't hear me, but I would have thought it would have been a good opportunity to put 7 points on the board rather than give a bit more kicking practice to Merceron. But they've been very comfortable this first half, I feel. I mean, they've never been in danger. And once they obviously found out pretty early doors that their scrum was very much in the ascendancy and no quality ball was going to come America's way from that piece of play, then they could do pretty much as they please. And I think the crowd will boo a bit hard in the second half if they don't run from that sort of position. But they're very comfortable. USA being very diligent and obviously doing their best and being competitive. But unfortunately, if your scrum's going back in the red of knots, it makes it very hard to play.
I think it would definitely help with a slightly more relaxed and humane referee in the middle.
Or to penalise that scrum.
Burgers, look at the height of that. That's fantastic. Now, can the French gather this one? Well, they can't. It's a big slap back, and scrum halves hate that. Scrum half gets it though. Yachvili, and he's driven into touch by Timoteo. Ball is knocked forward.
They don't want to knock forward because it's their scrum. He's just blown up.
Yes, and he's blown up for half-time. The Americans have worked very, very hard out there. They must be exhausted. Pretty much the same team has played in all 4 matches against this French second 15. Very fresh French second 15. The half-time score, France 26, the USA 0.
Having yet another party in Australia, this time in Wollongong. 20,000 inside the Wynn Stadium tonight, and thoroughly enjoying it. France in complete control at the moment, 26-0 they lead the United States, and I had most of the possession in the first half, Michael.
Yeah, about 73% of the possession, France, and with that sort of possession you'd expect to to be more in the lead than 26 points. You can see there the possession, 73, all the most of the games being played down in the USA 20 or their half, and you'd think with that sort of possession and the talent that France have at their disposal, their dominance in the scrummage area, also now with Dan Lyloff, you'd think they'd be leading more than 26 points. I think they'd be pretty disappointed.
Yeah, you can see which sort of areas of the pitch they have had their possession with our heat chart.
Yeah, that shows you also where the wind's coming from. Bottom right-hand corner there shows you that it's going across the field very strongly, and then you can also see where most of the game's been played, in the USA territory. And they've done well to hang on, actually.
OK, let's see if they can hang on in the second half. They're just coming out onto the pitch now. Let's rejoin Jamie Salmon and Mark Robson.
Thanks very much. Yes, the largest Buddhist temple in the southern hemisphere is in Wollongong, and they'll need all of the Dalai Lama's focus and fortitude and optimism in the second half. America, the Star-Spangled Banner, a little tattered and torn. The Tricolors' trio of tries here gives them a lead of 26 points to 0, and they've had 6 line breaks to zip in that first half as well. Jimmy Salmon.
Well, yes, it's been pretty much one-way traffic, and it'll be interesting to hear what they do, the French, in the second half. You know how you love the last 15 minutes when all these replacements come on and off, which is what our commentators love to get involved in. With the first team guys on the bench, it'll be interesting what Bernard Lepasset, the coach, does in relation to that, because these guys could easily play 80 minutes tonight, and it'd be nice in some ways to see that.
It would. Labit. Aradou forms the bridge. Matchvili gets it back to Messeron. Remember, very, very strong onshore crosswind, slightly tending towards the Americans' favour here in the second 40 minutes as it howls out towards the Pacific. Kirk Kasigian, tail of the line out there is Yuri House, born in Durban. And it's taken by Schubert. Now, Sika. That's better, hitting the ball a little bit harder and at pace. It makes such a difference. Coming into the line is John Buchholz. Good ball for the Americans. Kasigian. Timoteo waits. Herkus, oh, he took his eye off the ball. Was knocked forward though. Schubert. He made big inroads against Japan, but he's not doing it tonight. Now here's good ball for Sika. Sika needs to move it. Mike Herkus. Ball wide, looking for Fee. Here's got Fee inside as Eloff. Support was there. Good start to the second period by America. Just edging into the French 22. Timoteo to Mike Herkus. Little dummy from Herkus, and it's Sika. And Sika gets the ball to Buchholz. Oh, he's half a metre short. If only Sika had another yard of pace, he would surely have been in. The United States, though, were going to get the penalty, but it was the try they wanted, and they still might get it. Oh, and this time, Sika is less than half a metre short. They've got a bit of width here if they can use it. Dan Dorsey. French defence is organised again, though, now. Look at Luke Gross. He wants it. Timoteo, Mike Herkus looking outside. Cord Schubert scores for the Eagles. His third try of this Rugby World Cup. And the United States really did deserve that. They've had a bulldozing, energetic beginning to this second half, almost ignoring the fact that they're down by 26 points to 0, and they've come out firing.
They certainly have, maybe at a cost, because Sika's down by the post. Pop pass there. That was Buchholz just a yard out. Great little hold from Herkus. Late pass, short ball, good angle run. In under the sticks, or near the sticks anyway. But well played, America. That's the little dummy for the wide pass. Gave that little extra hole, enabling the Schubert to go through that area. And the crowd don't half love it. Mike Herkus there showing why he was selected for the Australian under-21 side as an out half. Second on the all-time points list for America.
success rate against Scotland, 5 from 6. And he's added the conversion. So the Americans score a try. Remember, the USA were the only team to breach the Wallabies line at the 1999 Rugby World Cup. And that's good news for Tom Billups, 44 times cap, former hooker. Another American replacement on Matt Sherman, who made his debut in the Churchill Cup against England A.
Come back. Come on, let's go.
Good from the restart from Big Alec Parker from the Gentlemen of Aspen Club, beautifully named. And it's his second World Cup. So there's plenty of experience in this USA side.
Taking him blue, white, blue scrum. Turnover.
Yeah, turnover from the kick. That's the right law. So this French scrum, good position for them. Looking for a quick riposte.
First scrum. Blue, closer, please, closer.
France already through to the quarterfinals for the 5th time. They've never lost a pool game. They're not likely to lose this one. Labitte, little dummy. And it was the unimpressive Sebastian Chabal, who doesn't look to have great hands. Well, certainly not tonight, who again knocks the ball forward. Liebenberg tries to drive an American off the ball, but the referee will bring them back.
Okay, number 20 white, number 20 white.
There we go, in the breadbasket, out of it. But the problem is it results in an American scrum, and we saw what happened in the first half. So it's got to be a very quick heel from Karsigian. That's Buchholz back on the field, having had a bit of a treatment for blood injury, I think. But it's got to be very quick ball, otherwise this scrum is going to go backwards very quickly, and no advantage is gained at all by America.
Only France and New Zealand have maximum points so far from their pool games, 15. Remember, there's a bonus point for scoring 4 tries in a match. In fact, France have only lost in the Rugby World Cup in history to New Zealand, England, South Africa and Australia, the Big Four.
On the angle, blue one.
Penalises the French front row this time, Olivier Mieux.
Well, that's a result for America, to be frank.
Urquhart, win behind. One of the weaknesses in his play is that he doesn't kick the ball terrifically far. Although when he's got the ball in hand, he can be mercurial. Tom Parker. Seguin. Tap back by Hodges. Timoteo. Sika. Timoteo. Training ground move, and it's called back. 13 white crossing in midfield.
Straight into a French defender. You can't run, you've got to go through a gap. You can't run into a defender. Take him out of play. 13 white.
Well, pity from America's point of view. I know what the referee is saying. There's Philip Eloff. There's Hercus getting the ball now, but prior to that, Eloff had run into a couple of French defenders, preventing them getting anywhere near Hercus. That was the problem. So the French will drill it down the corner and start again.
Well, Philip Eloff penalised there, but he has been one of the best players for the USA in this World Cup. You can see why he has started most of their tests in the last few years. The 35-year-old Chicago Lions midfield player, Yachvili, and that's taken by Labitte, and that will surely be a try. Bludgeoning towards the line is the replacement, Sylvain Marcanet. Merceron chucks it wide. Liebenberg for the hat-trick, gets there. 3 tries for the South African-born Frenchman. France 31, the USA 7. Well, we thought Marcanet was there initially, but again, just like the first 2 tries by Liebenberg in the first half, once the USA defence was sucked in, there were big numbers out wide.
Well, Marquinhos only been on the field for a couple of moments. Thought he was going to have his moment of glory. Quick ball once again. The key. Just held on by Merceron. And then Elof can't quite get enough of Liebenberg. And he scores one of the simpler hat-tricks a centre will score in any form of rugby. And the boys with the beret get excited.
Up go the stale baguettes. He's the second Frenchman to score a hat-trick in this Rugby World Cup. Yannick Yosion managed the same feat. Well, look at what the wind did to that kick, and that just demonstrates what we've been saying all night, how strong it is out there. But a fourth try for the French, and it's a bonus point for them. Not that they need it, they're going to top this pool anyway.
Here's the conversion. Let's see if David Bory, the left winger who flew out this week, I think, as a replacement. His man inside's got 3 tries. He's dead keen to make an impression. An interview in the papers with him this week saying, I'll prove the coach wrong for leaving me behind in the first place. He's hardly got a sniff of it.
He hasn't touched it yet. Labine, good take by Labine. It's a better restart for the French. A little bit better organisation. Yatsvili into the box. In front of the kicker, surely the French. And you just know Paul Honas is going to call it, even if it's a millimetre.
In front of the kicker. Must be behind. Penalty here or scrum? Penalty here.
Chabal doesn't agree. Might have been against David Bory, the left wing, to be fair to Chabal.
The word is that Paul Honas's whistle is now suffering from metal fatigue, so we may have to bring on a replacement.
Not sure what stocks are like. Your feathered friends are back again from Wednesday night, I see.
There aren't just as many seagulls tonight. I think it's maybe their evening off. Or maybe they know there's a storm on the way, because they're clever that way, seagulls, you know. They perch. Good take by Tobacco. Oh, that's a dreadful slice, and Philip Eloff takes it well. Get a bit of width here. They might be able to create something. That's Sika. Sika to Eloff once more. He's got Van Zyl outside. Van Zyl 5 metres short. The support is there quickly. It's Luke Gross. Eloff creates the bridge. It's good rugby again by the USA. That's Schubert on the ground. Pick up by Timoteo. Inside is Mike McDonald. The bullish figure of Mike McDonald. Timoteo, he burrows. Now it's Ryan Van Zyl at scrum half. Can they create? Mike Hercus, that's brilliant. That's what he's capable of doing. He is such a whippet when he gets the ball. He can be magic. And a second try of the half in the United States of America.
Well, you've got to admire the commitment of this American side. They're not going to lie down to this French team. That was Ryan Van Zyl just getting taken out in the corner. They got quick ball once again. The little show. They bought it again. Second time in a row they bought it. Class act. Look at them. Just stopped. 17 stops. Oh, lovely. Well played, Mike Hercus.
He's a sensational little rugby player, is Mike Hercus. He's full of tricks.
Well, I tell you what, our Australian colleagues reckon that a year ago, a couple of years ago, Mike Hercus was comfortably the #2 best fly half in the country, and every effort should have been made to keep him here, but no Super 12 franchise offered him a contract. So here he is in the white tonight of the United States, and doing a pretty darn good job, as they would say.
And he slots the extra 2 points. 17,833 is the attendance tonight. That's humans, not seagulls. It beats the attendance for Wednesday night when Canada played Tonga here. And is very close to the stadium record, actually, of 18,000. But Mike Hercus dancing through there again. And the way he showed the ball to that French defence was superb. I like the way he also dummies with his eyes. He looks to where he's going to pass the ball.
It's called the double dummy. That's what it's called.
Come down.
Hands and eyes, all one movement.
Come on, mate, let's keep going.
Does do it well. Yannick Brou, that's Olivier Melou, who into the squad really for Christian Califano, who's lost form in recent years. David Aradou, Yashvili, here's Labeat. It's Miu.
Here it is, last beat.
Yashvili, Chabal hangs on to it for a change, gets it to Yannick Brou. Brou, clean through. And immediate response from Les Tricolores.
Well, they say a side's at their weakest just after they've scored, and American certainly helped add to that theory. There wasn't the intensity, the organisation, the discipline that we've seen before. That was far too easy for the French forwards. That's Chabal taking on over the top pass, and this is uncontested from 10 yards out. He made it very easy for the captain to get on the score sheet.
Yannick Brou of Toulouse, championship winner with them, and the Heineken Cup winner. 30 years of age, experienced player. He's another experienced man, Gerald Merceron. It's a good strike from him. And the French lead stretches to 38 points to 14.
Well, for old Hercus, his face was Chabal coming straight at him. And when you've got big forwards going to small backs, it doesn't half help.
Mike Hercus is certainly diminutive.
So don't get too close to be in front.
Slippery but slight Mike Hercus. Plenty of time for Labeat. Kick was just a little bit too far to get us, or give his forwards a chance to get there. Gerald Merceron. Down that far touchline. Finds a good touch, Merceron. 61-18 against Fiji, 51-29 against Japan, 51-9 against the Scots. So they'll be looking to pass 50 for the fourth consecutive game, no doubt. Siggy, and the line-out options are reduced now that Dan Lyle has gone off. They use him a lot at the tail. They've decided to go for Hodges, and that worked well to Matteo. Sika once more, little step with the drive this time. Support from House. Parker drives Markany out of the way, showing great strength there, Alec Parker. Mike Hercus, Dave Hodges.
6 white. He just comes straight into
Schubert
the side,
coming in from the side, penalised by Paul Honus.
Got to come back around and through the gate.
You may have heard at the start of the show that Steve Walsh was meant to be on the line tonight, but he's been suspended following that incident in the England-Samoa game after an altercation with Dave Redden, the England fitness coach. He's been replaced on the line by Andrew Cole. Steve Walsh's suspension finishes on Monday, and the referees are staying at Botany Bay, and now they've had someone convicted, so there's an irony there, isn't there?
There certainly is. There certainly is. I thought that was harsh on Schubert, to be fair. He was just going to support his man who'd gone down, I thought. Certainly wasn't a lot of players around the man on the ground.
Aradou and Labeat working together. Not much American defence there. Yachvili, Merceron, Liebenberg, they could space out wide. Quadrano and Adel Horga in support. He also had David Bory, who still hasn't touched the ball outside him. And there'll be some French foul language, no doubt, on that far side of the pitch by now. Don't you like me?
Well, good to see the blindside wing in that instance. El Horga looking for work. And in the end, it meant the end of the move and not a run for our friend on the left wing, Mr. Bory. And here we go back to the now problematical American put into the scrum because of the ascendancy of the Frenchman.
Well, back goes that scrummage as if on roller skates. Dave Hodges picks up. To Matteo. Mike Hercus. getting blocked in American football fashion by his own players. Here's Poitrenaud again. Look at that step from Poitrenaud. Support from Damien Try. No knock forward. Yachvili looks wide. Can David Borey get his hands on the ball? Yes, he can at last. He had to come infield to get it, though. I'm going after it. You're not going to give it to me. Play on, says the referee. Here's Chabal inside. Well read by Schubert. Hercus with the ball. Parker. It's the American 22. Timoteo. And Hercus relieves the pressure.
Well, they're holding on, the Americans. The French do look pretty comfortable, and I think we'll see a very exhausting last 20 minutes with Dave Hodges and his troops, but well done him for picking the ball off the base of the scrum. There was no point lingering in that situation. Channel 1 and go.
Interesting, David Borey there. The seat's not going to find me, I'm going to find him.
You're quite right, get in there. Not the line out, I mean.
I want a gap. You're both closing the gap. Please hold the gap. Wide gap, thanks. Hold the gap. Come across the back.
Mrs. McFuss from Fussington blows the whistle again. Here when he says much better.
No, it's not straight.
It's so patronising. Sorry. Does he hand out sweeties? I shouldn't say those things.
Come forward, come forward. Crouch and hold. And go. Just on. Just on. I can't tell who that's that.
Now he's going to be tested. There's no doubt who's winning the scrumming battles. He's elected to go the other side of the scrum. So we'll see what happens. Put it in crooked, you won't see that. That's it.
Oh, that was crooked. Timoteo, he's a smart boy. Oh, Timoteo tumbles the ball off house. The advantage goes to France, and here's Damien Try. It's a nice dummy. A little bit of rock and roll as well, and Christian Abbe has Liebenberg. He's looking for a fourth try, of course. Yachvili, Gerald Messeron. He's got El Horga with him. There's Borey. He's everywhere now.
Accidental offside.
Accidental offside,
number 17 in front.
French penalised. But this is where the French could use that forward power and maybe drive the Americans off the ball in this scrummage. They'll certainly be trying it.
Well, the Americans are looking to be a bit tired now, a bit disjointed, and certainly missing a few tackles. And as you can see there, there's still a long 20 minutes to go. So the writing's on the wall for them. And the French, you know, when they want to lift it a gear, they lift it a couple of gears and look wonderful. And they can get ball in hand and create havoc.
Well, it's Damien Try who's down with a neck injury. I think the referee's going to wait. Obviously, when it's an injury above the shoulders, it's unwise to play on. But Try's okay. He's going to continue.
You get one game on tour to impress. You come up against a guy called Salisi Sika, who's only going to do one thing. And he's made his tackles, to be fair. He's made his tackles. Sika's got through a couple of times, but not for any great shakes. So now, unfortunately, it's an American put into the scrum.
He's a heat seeker. And he hits hard, does the Tongan-born. And there is the big shove coming on. They're in all sorts of trouble, as we expected.
Sorry, it's your ball, White. Come off one foot.
I don't want it.
Team last in
I
position.
don't want it.
The front row,
Really push. Wait for the ball to come in.
all sorts of trouble.
Engage.
Every scrummage must be torture in there for them. And he's going to give the penalty for the early shove, I presume. Well, it's a binding issue. It's the wrong angle again from Olivier Niou.
Well, you would have to say, you wouldn't think that even a prop, unless they're cotton socks, would need to break the laws to gain the advantage over the American scrum. And the referee, to be fair to him, was on that side and blew it straight away. Not sure you know what we were talking about. silent French.
Number 3.
Jacob Vasdorp comes on to the front row, the man who is at Trinity College in Dublin, and Dan Dorsey might be quite relieved to retire to the bench after the shellacking he's got in the front row.
And well done Tommy Billups, the coach. Spots the form, guys are tiring, I've got to get fresh legs on there and try and change things. And Tommy Billups has gone down really well over here, the American coach.
Bruze, Yachvili, Christian Labitte does make yards with the ball in hand, keeping that American defence under pressure. And David Bori again searching for the ball. Marconnet and Yachvili has a drop at goal.
Well, the crowd love it, don't they?
It's gone down well in Wollongong, that's for sure.
Dearie me. I mean, very nice and very good, but listen, you know, 75th minute when you're losing 13-12 is the ideal time you need one of those. Not when it was 38-14 or whatever it was. But perhaps he's never done a drop goal before.
It's Super Saturday on ITV1 tomorrow. First up, set your alarm clocks as the Scottish Bravehearts face the Fijian Flyers at Aussie Stadium. It's live on ITV2 from 4:40am and ITV1 in Scotland. The action continues at 7:30am on ITV2 with the Springboks and Samoa from Brisbane Suncorp Stadium, and Pool A, Truth or Dare, is next from 9:25am on ITV1. Ireland against the Wallabies at the Telstra Dome in Melbourne. 3 big matches exclusively live tomorrow on ITV's Super Saturday. The website itv.com/RWC, and a great run there by Philip Eloff, Chicago Lion in the centre, got support from Sika. And it's another good phase of rugby from the Americans, but off their feet. America going in there, but the original penalty is for a high tackle.
Against Yachvili, our drop goal king. Zilov's run, and there you can see the high tackle. Definitely high. Could have easily have gone low and made a proper conventional tackle, but just have a contrast from the exquisite drop goal to the physical nature of the man's play.
Well, Matt Dunning of New South Wales Waratahs, they needed tries in the Super 12 for a bonus point. He had a drop at goal and everybody was completely staggered. And in the newspaper the next day, the headline was "Dumb and Dunning."
Did he go over?
No. Matt Dunning in the Wallaby squad, played against Namibia. Bit of variety in the line-out. Alec Parker. Timoteo knocks it forward though.
Now if you're, I don't want to be too sort of relaxed and not acknowledge that this is a World Cup match and all the rest of it, but if you're, you know, quarter-finals next week for France, you know you're in the second team. The coach already said I'm playing the first team. Last 15 minutes, let's throw it around for everywhere. Let's really enjoy it. Let's go out with a bang and get some quality play going.
And enjoy it. That's Chabal bouncing off 2 tackles. Good run by Sebastien Chabal of Bourgoin. Yachvili to Merceron, and it's Brian Liebenberg again. Yachvili, Merceron. Well, there were hands in the ruck, so it's a penalty to the French. He was playing the advantage, the referee.
Hands in the ruck, and he came back the French side. There's Liebenberg, very direct runner. Eloff to avoid a hold on actually to that one, but there was hands in there, but it still came back the French side, so I would just carried on with it, to be perfectly frank with you.
Twice runners-up France in the Rugby World Cup, 99 and 87, third in 95, and remember they almost beat South Africa in a monsoon in Durban.
What do you reckon? Go straight? Okay, what do you want? Scum or lawn here? Okay, scum time. Scum time.
Yannick Bru's best effort to throw the ball into the line-out, acknowledged by the referee.
Markine on that loose head side doing all sorts of damage, and Dave Hodges has done very, very well on several occasions to gain ground for the Americans off the back of a scrummage under intense pressure. Timoteo a little bit high, taken by Schubert. Can America move it? There's not too many numbers there. One it could easily have been intercepted by Liebenberg, and now it's Messernon. Here's El Horga. El Horga had support from Sylvain Marconnet. Liebenberg.
Come out, Steven. Heads off, White. 4.
Messernon digs it out. Yachvili. Now, was David Bory onside is the question, but the kick was too far anyway.
It went into about the 10.
No, it did.
I mean, the second time he's tried it, he knows he's been playing for 60 minutes, he knows which way the wind's going, and he hoofs it, 10 rows into the hill.
There's a tanker out there, I think the captain caught it.
He couldn't find that tanker since Wednesday, is it?
It stayed the same place. It's stuck. On comes a Harlequin, a former Harlequin, Jason Cater for the powerful Sika. Jason Cater, who was involved in the incident, of course, with Martin Leslie that led to the 12-week suspension, which has just been shortened to 8 weeks. He was the man who got the patella to the cranium. Kosigian. Schubert. Not straight.
Not straight, fellas.
Again.
What do you want? Scrum?
Just on that Martin Leslie thing, I've never worked out why they banned them for weeks and not matches. Just to lob that one into the equation for some rainy day. Now then, can the French lift their quality of play and be ruthless and put as many points on as they can in these last 12 minutes?
Labate. He's had a good second half going forward. Yachvili, Messernon, Chabal, and he's lost the ball to Philip Eloff, the impressive Philip Eloff. Advantage to France. Aradou picks it up. Here's El Horga, looking for Aradou inside.
No advantage, you pushed him without the ball.
Player was pushed without the ball.
No ball, you pushed him.
David Aradou, and he admits that he did do it pretty much.
I just wonder if the French have lost a bit of interest, to be honest with you. There isn't the shape of their play, and I like actually sides and squads, and this is a French team effort for this World Cup campaign that are utterly ruthless in the way they go about it. I mean, they could beat the States here by 60 points, and I just like sides. I like to see sides who are utterly ruthless in their approach and say, we're making a statement every time we take them to the field of play. And I know the side's not going to play the quarter-final next week against Australia or your beloved Ireland, but you know, I just think they should be more ruthless than they are being at the moment.
The way the Australian second 15 was against Namibia, the way New Zealand have been against Tonga, for example. Kosigian this time doesn't find his man. Hacked through. El Horga with an American football tight pass, that sort of distance anyway. Liebenberg, Quatrano, he still won't give it to David Bory, who should kick him. Even Laporte thinks it's funny. Hey, you fly all the way from Paris, we don't give you the ball.
Well, there's Liebenberg, early ball to Quatrano. He says, I'll run it all the way across field, take all the room as well, and go into touch.
It's a practical joke, isn't it, bringing it, isn't it? Don't think this second choice French back row is just as good in defence as it is in attack, is the feeling we're getting here. Timoteo, Mike Hercus look forward. No, referee says play on. It's good hat. And I tell you, this fellow Mike McDonald, the loose head prop, is extremely good on the loose. He's got a good pair of mitts on him.
Hard luck 13, you lost the forward, mate, yeah. Just roll forward.
I tell you what, though, you've got to take your hat off to the Americans. They really have stuck at it. They've really been very commendable. They had their big game on Monday against Japan, which they won. They got off the foot of the table, and I think it was their first cup win for some time. But there's McDonald, and he's tried to be everywhere. Four blokes had a pretty torrid time up front in the scrummage tonight. But it shows a willingness, it shows an attitude, it shows a desire, it shows being part of a squad that he still wants to contribute in other facets of the game. So you've got to really commend that attitude that the Americans have shown on this trip.
Yeah, they've made mincemeat of a McDonald.
That windbag's back again.
Yes, the Americans broke their 10-match losing streak in the World Cup when they beat Japan. It's the only side they've beaten in the World Cup, actually. Beat them 21-18 in Ballymore in '87, and then 39-26 at Gosford on the coast. 5 tries to 2. Remember too that only Hodges, Lyle and Gross are the only full-time players in this American side. And I know Tom Billups, he hates the Americans being called minnows in this tournament. He feels they're professional in every way except the fact that they cannot train full-time.
Well, it goes back to that question, how do we get these guys training at 10 o'clock in the morning more often? And that's what you need, because the thing that's changed about the game is the physicality and the fitness. I mean, a number of other things have changed, but the two biggest thing, I believe, is the physicality and fitness levels. And if you can't train at 10 o'clock every morning, you're going to come second in that department, whatever anybody says.
Merceron, big numbers here. Now it's David Bory. He gives it to his mate, Poitrenaud. He didn't deserve to get a pass from David Bory, to be honest. But he gets one anyway. They're budgie smuggling that ball forward, this French back. 3 metres short, Poitrenaud's in there. Gerald Merceron, Yachvili, beautiful flick inside to nobody, unfortunately. It looked good.
Cross forward.
It did look good, but it went nowhere. Here we go, back inside. Somebody ready for it? They could have been. Probably a bit hard. David Bory is becoming a charity because nobody's given it to him, and he gave it back to Poitrenaud, who'd gone pretty lateral in the last movement.
Hold the weight, Blue. Hold the weight.
Against Blue, hold the weight. Well done, Dave Hodges, leading by example. What a great example for a captain to give.
And it is so tiring. He's 35 years of age. It's so tiring going backwards and defending all day. Much more draining than attacking. Now, a chance to attack on his own. David Bory. Little bit of ball for him at last. Yachvili to Bruzet. Came off the shoulder of Sylvain Marcanet, so the advantage goes to America. 7 minutes to go, 41 points to 14. 2 good tries the Americans have scored, and the whistle's going to go.
Off your feet,
coming in
off your feet.
Off his feet, the captain Yannick Brou, and a penalty to the United States. The French have been almost a softly approach to this World Cup in a way that they lost a couple of games against Argentina in the summer again, and then to New Zealand. They've kept their best rugby for the World Cup. This certainly isn't their best performance, there's no doubt about that, but they've sort of built slowly and quietly in the background, like subterfuge.
They have, and they know what's coming in the next few weeks, as we've talked about. Australia, Ireland next week, and then seeded to meet England in the semi-final. Some English fans are saying they peaked too early, which is a little bit of a bullish shout at this stage, because England certainly haven't peaked too early. And can they peak? However,
well, there's been a lot of pommy bashing in the newspapers, as you would expect here. In fact, some Australians are embarrassed by it that I've spoken to, including a chap called Craig Norenberg, who's the sports editor for Sky News, and he's doing a piece on Sky News tomorrow about the fact that he thinks it's been completely over the top by the Australian press, being completely anti-English at every opportunity.
Still 4 weeks to go.
Yes. War has broken out. That's Sebastian Chabal. You of mystery on his face. I don't understand. Yellow card into the bin. 23rd yellow card of this tournament. No sendings off yet.
I'd say that. Tomorrow's a big day.
Oh. I won't sleep again.
Now there's Shabal, he's on his feet. So he hasn't exactly dived in from the side or on the ground. So I have to say, I think he's a little bit hard done by there, to say the least, by Mr. Honus.
Schubert. McDonald. He's a good player, isn't he, McDonald? He did that so smoothly. To Matteo. And crunching into the line is Jason Cater. Schubert. Eagles finishing well. Looking for a third try. Timoteo looking inside. Now it's Alec Parker in support. Lost forward from House as he went to ground. Christian will beat his tackle, but there will be no advantage and they will come back.
But again, as we look at Tommy Phillips, the American coach, they are showing a great attitude. He's got every reason to be proud of the manner in which they played the game tonight and their commitment to the cause.
Engage. Looks up. Stay down, wide six.
If they could have scrums like that, it wouldn't half help, wouldn't it, on their ball? Because everyone's been a big problem for them tonight. Here's a chance.
Okay.
Yes or no? Missing touch by a country mile. That's Buchholz. He picks it up, didn't knock it forward. Now he's on his own here. And he's managed to get far enough to find a little bit of support.
Here it is. Scrum time, fellas. Scrum time. Going forward, White.
I mentioned the 2 gold medals America won at the Olympics in rugby union. Of course, the USA women's team won the World Cup in 1991. They've been second twice as well. It is difficult for them. They've only got 7 territorial unions, really. 54,000 players to choose from. Most of them come from the rugby heartlands of San Francisco, Chicago and Denver.
Well, there was a piece in the paper here where George Bush was here, wasn't there, about his keenness in rugby, and I think he played the game at a younger age.
Yale, wasn't it?
I gather so.
Gross is 5. First US player to 50 caps, Luke Gross. Former Llanelli as well as Harlequins. Most cap, American second row forward. And again, the scrummage is under pressure and it's picked up by Patrick Tabaco, but a little knock forward, says Paul Honus.
And the American front row say, oh no, we don't want a scrum, we don't want the foot in. Where was the knock on here? Oh, I suppose just a little...
A soupçon.
A soupçon. A petit peu.
T-shooter Paul blows that whistle yet again. Dave Hodges goes to ground. That's House, who's a building constructor, which is appropriate, I suppose. Timoteo. And on field for Mike Hercus is Matt Sherman, who'd slotted into out half, but it's lost forward by America. 2 minutes to go.
Untidy finish though, hasn't it? The last 10 minutes, I mean, France have not shown that ruthless streak that I was requesting them to show. They've rather gone through the motions. But fair enough to America, they've really dug at it. And 5 days after their big game against Japan, the same side picked virtually. So it's been, I know it's been a comfortable win by France, but it's been a commendable effort by the United States in this game, bearing in mind the schedule they've had. And as we suggested, the Passe's left his big guns on the bench and let the rest of the guys play out 80 minutes.
Yeah, they've scored 9 tries at this World Cup, America, which is a pretty good return in this pool. Fiji, Scotland, Japan, and of course France. They haven't actually conceded that many either. So Tom Billups, I think, could take quite a lot out of this World Cup. He's really worked hard, being a fitness instructor himself, really worked hard on American fitness since he was appointed in January 2002. Pat Wyatt, Schubert. USA showing that extra fitness in this last few minutes. They're finishing strongly. Matt Sherman chips through. El Horga goes back, and it's David Bori who gets hammered by Jason Cater. And there goes the final whistle here at Wollongong. It was a rather flat encounter, you'd have to say, all round. Brian Liebenberg will maybe be the happiest player in that French back line. He managed a hat-trick of tries. The USA battled very hard indeed. They scored 2 tries of their own. Huge credit to them, but they've lost here by 41 points to 14.